Well, good morning. And we are interviewing candidates today. And at the moment, we are talking to Mark Meuser, who is running for the United States Senate. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good to be on with you.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, first of all, the office that you're running for is the U.S. Senate, and you're in a race against appointed Senator Alex Padilla. What's your background on this, and why did you decide to run?
Well, I'm a constitutional attorney, and I have a long career of fighting for people against big business, big tech, and big government. And over the last couple of years, we have seen a major departure from our constitutional Republican form of government. United States is a constitutional republic, and in that, we the people are sovereign. We have the right of self-governance, and that right of self-governance is only checked by laws passed by our duly elected representatives. Now, over the last couple of years, because of COVID, we have seen the unelected bureaucracy trying to rewrite or shred the United States Constitution, where these unelected bureaucrats, just by a wave of a pen, have changed the laws, calling some people essential, other people not, shutting down churches, shutting down schools, shutting down businesses, shutting down beaches. You just name it. But unelected bureaucrats took massive control that was never intended for them in our United States Constitution. And so as a constitutional attorney who had over 30 such lawsuits against the unelected bureaucracy during COVID, it became very clear to me that the fight to preserve our constitutional republic begins in the United States Senate. And so in order to keep, rather than playing defense in the court, I figured it was time I played offense and went to the United States Senate and started reining in this unelected bureaucracy that has massively expanded and has showed no care for the rights of the individual. See, in a democracy, whatever the mob wants, the majority, that is what happens. But United States of America is not a democracy. We're a republic. That Constitution protects the rights of the minority against the mob or against the bureaucracy or the autocracy or whatever form of government. We're supposed to have all those rights protected. And what happened in COVID is those rights were not protected. The bureaucracy just ran over the rights of the people. And that became abundantly clear to me that we needed to fight back against that. And so that's the reason why I'm running for United States Senate.
Okay, very good. Well, I mean, because that was going to be the question, what's your core motivation? And you got there ahead of me. Thank you very much for anticipating the next question. All right. So should you get to the Senate, what are some of the big issues that you hope to be able to work on from that side of the aisle?
Well, when it comes to United States senators, there is not a lack of United States senators that represent big tech, represent big pharma, represent big business, represent big government. But what we don't have is representatives that are fighting for the people. And I want to go to the United States Senate. I want to represent the people of the state of California. I want to represent them and take back from the bureaucracy their power and return it to the people's house, i.e. Congress. I want to go in there and start examining the budgets and start eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. We got to start, if we do not start balancing our budget now, all we're doing is borrowing from future generations. We're stealing from our children's future, and we're making inflation a much higher problem. So what we have to do is we have to balance our budget. We need a balanced budget amendment, but even without a balanced budget amendment, we can start eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse from government spending. And those are going to be some of my top priorities. We need to protect our communities by being tougher on crime. We also, need to remove the massive amount of control that Washington, D.C. has on the education of our children. We need to return that back down to the school boards, where parents have a lot more say and can be a lot more educated about what is going on with their children's education. But again, I have a 7-point plan. You can see it at markmeuser.com/plan, and it has all of my priorities.
Excellent. Okay. So last question. We're in California. and you being a Republican, this is an uphill race for sure, simply because of the numbers. What's your message to the people that are on the other side of the aisle on why they should consider voting for you?
Well, first off, I'm going to say that yes, well, it is an uphill battle. This is probably going to be the most competitive Senate or election that we've had in probably 25, 28 years. There is a change in dynamics going on in California that most people do not realize, but the woke progressive policies where, you know, your children are not your children, they belong to the government, where we're going to spend and just destroy the economy, where our cities are not safe, that is causing a lot of Californians to wake up and realize, you know what, this woke progressive agenda does not represent me, and the Democrat Party has left me, so I now need to look at other options. And we are seeing it very strongly in the polling data that there are large segments of California's population that are actually examining who they're going to vote for. And, you know, 4 years ago, that number of what we call persuadable voters was probably around 1 million. This year, the persuadable voter pool is about 6 million. So as a campaign, we are reaching out to those 6 million people who traditionally tend to vote Democrat, and we are giving them our 7-point people's plan, letting them know what we stand for, and it's resonating with people. And they are, you know, they do not like the fact that Los Angeles City is the 179th safest city, which means, and there's only 182 on the ranking. You know, we're one of the most dangerous cities in the United States of America. People don't like that. They know that they can do better. So the environment has really changed. And there's a couple key demographics that are a part of it, but independent voters are leading the charge, where they traditionally vote Democrat 60%. That independent voter is now extremely dissatisfied with the woke progressive agenda, but that is not putting their children first, not putting their pocketbook first, putting the pocketbook of special interest first. And so that is a major demographic that has done a major 180 swing. Another one is the Hispanic Americans under the age of 50. The youth and the working age Hispanic Americans have come a long ways. They're pushing back against this high crime. Let the criminals go free. Let's serve the needs of the criminal, not the community. So there is a major swing in the demographics. This is going to be much more competitive than most people realize. And the best way to make it more competitive is to get out and vote. What is my message to people is I represent the people. I have my whole legal career has been about fighting for people against big business, big corporations, big pharma, you know, big government. I fight for the people. And that's who I am as an individual. That's who I'm going to be as a United States Senator. And that's why I put together my people's plan, the plan that, you know, after I campaigned in all 58 counties, talking to people in every walk of life, understanding what the problems were of California, understanding what we can do from the United States Senate. And I put together my 7-point people's plan, which again, you can be seen on my website at markmeuser.com. That's MarkMeuser.com.
You got it. Okay. Well, that is a very concise and an interesting perspective, as far as, you know, it really reminds me of the values that we used to have in California, and have lost a number of them over the years. And so there we go. So good luck to you, sir. And thank you very much for your time. And I hope to see you victorious in November.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day, sir.